timely fashion. Very impressive, Mount Airy. So we're going to start tonight by swearing in our newest officer who has 4 legs and should be walking up here momentarily if you want to come on up. So Yuri is an impressive dog. So when Officer DeAngelis came up to me and introduced me to Yuri, my first question was, what impressive things can Yuri do? And he said that he could find anything. I told this story at the first meeting when we met Yuri, but I'll repeat it. So I said, well, can he find my glasses if I leave them somewhere? And he said, yeah, sure, not a problem. So I snuck outside the building, and I went and hid my glasses over there by Tony Pazzo's in a flower pot, okay? And then came back in, and then Yuri hit the street and started sniffing around, trying to find things. Got a little confused, went back and forth, and next thing I know, he's sitting there at the flower pot right next to my glasses. And I was like, how in the heck does he do that? So that was pretty impressive. So anyway, that won us all over, and we decided that Yuri was going to be welcomed into the Mount Airy Police Department. And tonight, we have to swear Yuri in, okay? All right, so if you'll raise your right hand, and you can sit there and observe, okay, that'll be okay. All right. We, state your names,
We, Yuri and Alex,
do swear or affirm
do swear or affirm
that we will support the Constitution of the United States
that we will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that we will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
and that we will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that we will,
and that we will,
to the best of our skill and
to
judgment,
the best of our skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of K-9 Patrolman, Mount Airy Police Department,
execute the office of K-9 Patrolman for the Mount Airy Police Department,
according to the Constitution and the laws of this state,
according to the Constitution and laws of this sate,
and the laws of the town of Mount Airy.
and the laws of the town of Mount Airy.
All right, how do we know that Yuri agrees to this? There we go, okay. All right. All right, well, welcome aboard. All right, thanks. I think we have a paperwork that Yuri
I
can.
don't know. Did you get to see Chris? We'll have to wait. Oh, Chris has the special pad. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get Yuri to stamp
We'll
that.
hook up.
Okay, all right, good seeing you.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, thank you all. All right, and now the regular meeting will start at 7:30. Thanks.
2026. At this time, I'll call to order the town council meeting for the town of Mount Airy. If you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll start first by thanking Council Secretary Jason Evans for doing the meeting last month as I was unable to attend, so thank you, and great job on doing that.
Thank you for keeping it light.
You're welcome. Next up, we have our presentations portion. Proclamation to recognize National Vietnam War Veterans Day on March 29, 2026. I'll go ahead and relinquish to our mayor, Mayor Hushauer.
So, Commissioner Guerin, if you'll come up as well. Just out of curiosity, before we get started, how many people in here are a veteran from at least the Vietnam era? 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. That's great. All right. We also have representatives here from the American Legion, from the VFW, and from the Marine Corps League. And if I could have that representative come up. And kind of the way we're going to work this is Commissioner Guerin is going to read the proclamation from either Rosie or, yeah, come on up. Okay. Okay. And was there somebody here from the VFW? Okay. All right, Mark. Good. All right. Thanks. Thanks. Todd. Sure. Mark. Good to see you. Okay, so if y'all come back over this way. Okay. And Commissioner Guerin's going to read the proclamation from Carroll County. I want you to know that we also have a proclamation that was given from Frederick County. And really appreciate Josh Marks for reaching out there, making sure that we got the proclamations. And following reading the proclamation from Carroll County, I'm going to ask for all those Vietnam veterans to come up here in the town council to join us. We're going to take a picture, and then that picture is going to go into the time capsule that we're going to be putting in the ground somewhere around July that will stay in the ground for 50 years. And in 50 years, they're going to open up and realize that we were all old back now. Yeah. So, yep. And one quick note before Commissioner Guerin reads that proclamation. The first casualty out of Carroll County was a private first class named Ronald Kinney. And we recognized him a few years ago. And we also put up the hero banners here in our town. And we always recognize those who were lost during battle. And we don't charge for those banners. They just go up. So Ronald Kinney is always remembered on that day, as well as Ronald Kinney. As well. So with that being said, Commissioner Guerin, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank the mayor and the town council for the opportunity to be here this evening. My name is Mike Guerin. If you live in Carroll County, I'm probably your District 4 representative, and it's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be standing up here with these gentlemen. And I want to thank Josh Marks for his help getting this through the county as well. So, well, thank you. Appreciate that very much. The proclamation for Vietnam War Veterans Day. The Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017 recognizes March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. And National Vietnam Veterans Day gives the opportunity for all Americans to recognize, honor, and thank our Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifices during the Vietnam War. And upon returning from war, Vietnam veterans did not receive a warm welcome home. Millions of Americans honorably answered the call to serve, but those fortunate enough to return home were met with protests, scorn, and neglect. National Vietnam Veterans Day represents the hero's welcome they never received and truly deserved. National Vietnam Veteran War Veterans Day pays tribute to the millions of Americans who served in the armed services during the Vietnam War, including the nearly 60,000 who died, more than 150,000 who were wounded, over 750 known prisoners of war, and more than 1,500 still missing. And National Vietnam War Veterans Day is celebrated across the United States in many ways. We recommend and encourage everyone to publicly thank and honor all Vietnam veterans and display our nation's flag. Therefore, we, the Board of Carroll County Commissioners, do hereby proudly proclaim Sunday, March 29th, as Vietnam War Veterans Day. Adopted this 19th day of March. This will be effective 19th day of March. The Board of Carroll County Commissioners signed by all 5 Carroll County Commissioners. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight, and thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
So if you're a Vietnam veteran, could you please come up here? And Josh, could you please come up here as well? So, are there other representatives that are here from the VFW or American Legion? You're welcome to join us, or Marine Corps League. Come on up, Council, if you want to join us.
Last picture.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, Jason, you gotta move to one side there. Perfect, thank you.
I just want to say something for Vietnam veterans. At Martin's West and Gilcrest are sponsoring Vietnam Veterans Celebration Day this month. If you go to Gilcrest's website, they have something on Facebook about the celebration. I also put it on the 191 Facebook page.
We take one more picture, I forgot Josh's phone. Thank you.
Oh, Josh.
Damn!
There's always one.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Got it?
All right, thank you all.
Could I say something? Yes, sir, you can. No, it's good, right here, it's good. Here, hold on, I just wanna, let's get this in here. I just wanna let everybody know that the last Marine out of Vietnam died. He died February, I think, 19th. He's Master Gunnery Sergeant Valdez. He was in Saigon. It was April '75 when he was the last one pulled out of Vietnam. And he was a Marine. Huh?
All right, thank you for that. Next up, we're going to have public comment. Before we get into public comment, I do see a lot of people in the audience. I'm assuming for the annexation in the possible annexation. So I want to go ahead and just give you guys a quick roadmap because there has been some false information that has been levied on Facebook, which, as we all know, never happens. So in order to clarify anything and to keep everyone aware as to the exact process that will play out, I just want to make kind of a pathway forward just so everyone's aware. Tonight, March 2nd, we will be setting a public hearing. That is it. There is no decision that will be made regarding the annexation one way or another. April 6th, there'll be a draft annexation plan that is for approval or disapproval. And what I want to make sure that is very, very clear is that draft annexation plan approval or disapproval does not approve or deny the annexation. All that does is say that if we were to annex, that this would be the plan that would move forward with the annexation. At that point in time, that plan goes to the state, goes to the county, it gets vetted there, and then it would come back to us. So that vote will happen on April 6th. 60 days from that, or within 60 days, is when we have to have our public hearing. So tonight, we're going to be setting a public hearing for probably sometime in mid to late June. Okay, that is when anybody and everybody can come in, say their piece, however they feel, one way or the other. That will be in late June. Between May, there probably won't be anything. April, there probably won't be anything. We're probably going to get a 60-day review, which in June 8th, we should have, around June 8th, feedback received from counties and state on the annexation plan if approved. And then we probably would not look to actually vote on the annexation one way or another until the August 3rd meeting. So that is the process. So while everyone is here tonight, probably to say yes or no and to give your thoughts, which you're more than welcome to do from now all the way until August, I just want everyone to be on the same page as to what the process is. Tonight, we're going to set a public hearing for mid-June. Next month, we will approve or disapprove the plan. And again, an approval does not mean the annexation is approved. It means if the annexation is approved, this is the plan that would go into place. We will then have the public hearing in June, and then we will hear back from the county and state. And then in the August 3rd meeting, right now, our roadmap looks like the August 3rd meeting is when we would actually decide whether to or not to annex. So as long as everyone's clear with that, we'll go ahead and move on to public comment. How many people in the audience wish to speak?
Not on annexation.
That's fine. No, it's fine. I'm just trying to set the time accordingly. So about 2 minutes, does that work for everybody? And if you want, if we can, we'll just have kind of a line form behind the podium.
You may want to get Sally first.
Yeah, we can, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're fine.
Not to get you.
Yeah, so we're going with public comment, so yes, absolutely. And if you would, please, what I need from everyone that wishes to speak, please come up, state your name and your address for the record.
I'm not talking about the annexation. Can I?
Neither one of you are.
I'm not either.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm Sally Taylor. I live at 1260 Guilford Road in Eldersburg. Oh, sorry, okay. I'll get used to it one day. Sally Taylor, 1260 Guilford Road, Eldersburg, Maryland. I'm here basically to introduce myself to the mayor and town council. I'm running for delegate in District 5. First, I should say thank you to the veterans that were here today. We certainly wouldn't be here without them, and always so thankful to have these opportunities, and the towns and the communities, I think in Carroll and Frederick County, just do an excellent job in recognizing our veterans. You all, of course, are where the rubber meets the road. I certainly have a lot of respect and admiration for the people that are taking the municipal roles, because so many people here can get to you at the grocery store, on the sidewalks, and, knocking on your door. I hope that this will not be this has not been my only time in Mount Airy, meeting with different community groups. I pledge that if I am elected, I will be here listening. I'm a retired person who is just very frustrated with our state government. I have worked for Congressman Bartlett for 18 years. I worked for Dan Cox for the 2020 and 2021 contentious COVID years, so I understand the job. I just am very committed to serving the people of Maryland, the people of Carroll County, Frederick County, as I know you are, Mount Airy. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Good.
All right. Wayne Evans, 16473 Old Frederick Road, Mount Airy. We've got a couple of announcements to make tonight. I'll try and get through them quickly. Calvary United Methodist Church, that's a big stone church up on South Main, is hosting their annual health fair on April 18th, 2026. This year the event is going to be much bigger and better than last. They'll begin a fun run walk at 8 a.m. at the church, and that's going to leave the church and go up towards the park, around the park, up Paradise, and then back again. That'll begin early at 8 a.m. From 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., we'll have the Red Cross hosting a blood drive, and they'll also be inside. There's no pre-registration. Just show up if you want to do give a pint of blood. Again, that begins, that will be going from 9 until 2. The actual health agency fair starts at 10 a.m. and runs till 1. We have over 50 participants. Last year we had about 40, so this will be much bigger. We have over 50 participants, everything from parental care, prenatal care, to health care, wellness of our senior community. They'll all be represented. Many of the service clubs and nonprofits will be present to inform our citizens of their services. A significant number of medical service companies will attend. Blood pressure tests, different blood testing, and screening services will be available. Many of you have heard now of the blood tests you can do to detect colon cancer. It's not the old invasive way that you used to have to do that. It can all be done by a blood testing, and we'll have that available there as well. That is not free. Getting in is free, but if you have your insurance cards and so forth, you can get that blood test done right there on April 18th. And if you get there early and you're going to run and stay for the show, we have 4 food trucks. So we'll have plenty of eats, starting with breakfast. Next group of announcements comes from the Historical Society. The second The Saturday, the 7th of March, which is this coming, we're hosting the annual basket bingo at the Fire Department Activities Building. The doors open at 5. If you've never been to this before, it's very interesting. You don't win money or anything, but you can win about 60 prizes, I believe it is, baskets and what have you, other things like that, and by winning on your bingo cards. That begins at 5 o'clock. You can get tickets for that beforehand. You can get them on the website or at Blossman Basket Boutique over in the rail yards, or you can buy them at the door. So that will be open for you. And the big event for the Historical Society will take place on March 17th, Tuesday the 17th. It's St. Patty's Day. The Hall of Fame dinner will be held that night, and this will be held at the American Legion Gold Star Post on Prospect. The doors will open at 5 with a social hour at 6 and dinner, from 5 to 6 and dinner to follow at 6. Induction ceremonies will start after that. There are still tickets available. They can be purchased at the Blossman Basket Boutique on Main Street, and the tickets are $30. And one final little invitation to everyone here. If you've not been to the Mount Airy Museum lately, you need to stop in there. Fully 50% of it now is dedicated to the role of Mount Airy and what happened here in Mount Airy during the Civil War. A lot of artifacts, a lot of written material, swords, pistols, rifles, all kinds of things. As I said, a lot of artifacts. If you've not been in there, please stop in and see us every afternoon, 4 to 12, Saturdays and Sundays. That has already been recognized by the Carroll County Historical Society as one of the best small museums in central Maryland regarding the history of the town and the Civil War. So if you get a chance, come on out and visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Dwayne Cordry. I'm a resident of Mount Airy, Kings Forest Trail. I spoke to the town council last meeting regarding the annexation, so I'm going to skip that part. But what I want to bring up today and ask the town council and the mayor is something unprecedented has happened in the street of Mount Airy, Kings Forest Trail. There are 3 young men who have dedicated themselves to serving the country. There's 3 kids on Kings Forest Trails who've received an appointment to either West Point or the Naval Academy. Mayor Hushauer being a Naval Academy grad, my neighbors over here on Kings Forest Trail, Kathy Dave Baca, class of 86, Naval Academy grads. Ralph Gant, class of 75, West Point, and myself, class of 90. Joey Garafola lives on Kings Forest. He's currently a senior at St. John's up in Frederick. He received an appointment to the West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. Dylan Gasway, whose mother's over here, he's currently serving at the Naval Academy Prep School. He's a stud basketball player, and he'll be on the courts at the Naval Academy next year. And my son, Braden Cordry, he's currently a sophomore at Purdue, majoring in nuclear engineering. He's got an appointment to West Point and is waiting to hear if he gets in the Naval Academy. And if he gets to make the decision as a Naval Academy grad, I told him he needs to choose wisely. So I wanted to share that with this community. It's unprecedented. 3 kids on the same block, 3 different year groups. My son graduated South Carroll in 2024. Dylan graduated Georgetown Prep, I believe, in 2025. And of course, Joey's graduating this spring. So I wanted to share that, and I hope, Mayor Hushauer, that when Dylan gets back from Naval Academy Prep School, my son comes back from Purdue, maybe we can recognize the kids with a proclamation before they head off to I-Day or our day at West Point. Thank you very much.
We'll get them before they get the haircuts.
That's the public comment we like.
Hi, my name is Tina Stolman. I live at 1302 Crossbow Road in Mount Airy. I do have just a question about the annexation. I was wondering if the annexation does go through, is that property being sold to the baseball fields and the sports is that all just going to happen should the annexation go through? Because I'm not necessarily anti-annexing the area. I just don't necessarily want baseball fields there. So my question to you all is, that's what's going to happen once the annexation takes place or not? Let's say it does.
Yeah, generally, we don't do a lot of discussing.
Oh, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Well, I appreciate
So
it, thank you.
we're not, the contract that anybody has set up is not something that we're involved in. So I'm not sure what sort of a purchase agreement has been made by the company that's trying to put in the sports fields with the current owners. That's not something that we're privy to. So frankly, we're not sure what happens to the land if this falls through, and we don't even know what the conditions they've set on that are. We haven't seen that purchase agreement, so.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it does, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Rash, 2508 Kings Forest Trail. I wanted to comment on the proposed annexation, and first I wanted to thank all of the interactions over email with members of the town council, so thank you, highly value that. I wanted to say that there's a narrative right now that the sports complex is a done deal because the sport complex owners will simply go through the county process if Mount Airy votes it down. My understanding is it is not a done deal for the following reasons. The Warfield property is zoned R40 for residential use. If the town votes down the annexation, the sports complex owners would have to go then through the county to either get the property rezoned as commercial or get a conditional use authorization from Carroll County Board of Zoning Appeals, which is much easier to do. However, if the sports complex owners go through the county board for a conditional use authorization, there is a mandatory public hearing. I called the BZA today to ask if the public can provide comments at this public hearing. The answer is yes, we can. Every resident of Nottingham is a resident of Carroll County. We can all provide comments to the Carroll County Board of Zoning Appeals. Further, we can not only provide comments during that hearing, we can also ask questions to the applicants, the sports complex owners, during that public hearing, when we would have a lot to say. So, to all Nottingham residents, there is real hope that the whole project can be stopped. The sports complex is not a done deal, but we need the Mount Airy Town Council to vote it down first. For the good of the town, we ask that you reject the annexation proposal. To the audience, this is likely to be a long process, and this was confirmed earlier at the start of the meeting. I urge you, the audience, to stay engaged in these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. How you doing?
My name's Evan Pupilis. I live at 2505 Kings Forest Trail. Michael did a very nice job of kind of laying out the plan, but I just want to voice my opposition to the annexation. The Planning Commission that you all tasked with this proposal unanimously voted against it. So, kind of speaks for itself. So, thank you.
I feel like every time I'm here, this is a common theme. Okay, little humor. Amanda Everett, 903 Longbow Road. I do reside in Nottingham, which I think you're hearing a lot from our neighbors, and I think that says something because we really love our town. I think that's a pretty special thing that there's standing room on a town council meeting to talk about a vote that's going to happen, thank you for the transparency, probably sometime in August. I mean, that's months away. I think that's really says something that we care so much, just to voice an opinion, whether it's for or against. I am here to share my concern at this possibility for annexation. And I think, I agree, it says something that our planning commission, who has spent months and months, and I'm sure hours that we don't even realize, researching, speaking with the applicants, talking with third parties, doing extra research, talking with our community, after all of that, provided the recommendation to reject it. I think that really says something, and I appreciate all of the detail that went into that. At the end of the day, this project carries tremendous risk, not just for elite baseball, but for us. Once this is approved and it moves forward, it will forever change our town. We can argue what may happen, but there are no guarantees that the proposed benefits, as they're laid out now in business plans and other discussions, will actually come to fruition. I know Elite Baseball hopes that because they're in business for this, but there is no guarantee. But what is a guarantee is that our town will change. Our community will change. Nottingham will not feel the same, but nor will all the other neighboring homes and that entire pocket of the community. We will have more traffic, and it's already a pain point. We are going to be theoretically giving more water, which is already a difficult resource for us. We are going to have our town character changed, and I hope we can all think about these potential benefits. Do they really outweigh the risk of losing what makes our town so special? And what I would imagine most of us moved here for, certainly me. So I appreciate the time to speak, and I hope that this council will continue to listen to the recommendation of the planning committee, but also your community over these coming months who are sharing something that is really impactful to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
I get my report now. Matthew Hurd, 318 North Main Street. This is to address the Nottingham residents. On trash day, can you please make sure you move your trash cans away from the mailbox? Because the United States Postal Service, Walt, would thank you, because it always blocks the mailboxes. So if we have the audience, we might as well speak to it and get it cleared up. Thank you.
Well, Matt does double duty here. He works for the Postal Service as well as the as well as the fire company.
Anyone else wish to speak? How you doing, bud?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I'm Brian Trigger, 1106 Longbow Road, Nottingham. My family's for the sports complex, but we have questions, but would like to know, I guess, when will the people who are going to develop this have a chance to speak on some of the concerns that the community has? To address the traffic issues, the water, and stuff like that? When would they be able to come in here and talk? Or can you answer that, or?
Yeah, so they'll have an opportunity at the public hearing to address, their side of it.
Okay.
Address questions and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
And again, that date will be set tonight, but it's probably looking mid to late June. Yeah. Yeah, I will say too, thank you to Councilmember Kelly, you can look on previous planning commission meetings on YouTube. They did speak on traffic and stuff. The planning commission did very thoroughly ask a lot of the questions that you guys are probably wondering, and they are available on YouTube if you search Mount Airy Planning Commission. How are you?
Good evening. My name is Marshall Pangasso. I reside at 2007 Kings Forest Trail, Mount Airy, Maryland. I appreciate all the work that's gone into quite an extensive set of different operations to get us to this point thus far. One of the things that I do want to encourage us to do is to think about, as we've heard from before, that we are a community and that we're here to actually remain the community that we are. As a resident of the Nottingham community, one of the things that is a concern, along with other concerns, is the traffic study that in fact was done. And so if we were to take a look already in terms of what the traffic looks like now, and this is simply based on traffic that's actually on Twin Arch, where there is 4 lanes for Twin Arch, 2 down, 2 back up. That's a challenge. And what we also know is this, that we reside in the Nottingham community on a 2-lane road. And so I would encourage us to think about what that's going to look like, particularly given that this is a snapshot of what some of the traffic looks like already on Twin Arch. So thank you so very much, because I'm hoping that we can also talk about the PFAs along with some of the things in terms of the comparison with the Virginia Sports Complex that they were actually looking at, as well as what it means in terms of us as a community. So thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations again to Dylan.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Yes, sir. Yeah, I think that's football season.
Evening. My name is Pat Coleman. I'm a property owner and resident of Nottingham. I'm here to state my opposition to this complex. And for a number of reasons. One, I'm concerned about the quality of life and property values and the changes that the folks in Nottingham are going to have to endure should this go through, because I don't see an upside to any of that. Secondly, speaking from my own personal background, I've got over 20 years of coaching baseball, umpiring, playing with younger kids. I've been to facilities like they're proposing in many, many states. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. One thing I've noticed that really makes these facilities a good draw is having the infrastructure within a 5-minute drive of the actual park where the games are going to get played. If they're going to draw teams from New York and South Carolina and from West Virginia and Ohio, like these kinds of tournaments do, they need places for these folks that are participating to come and stay. We don't have that. The infrastructure to support that kind of venue just doesn't exist in our little town, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think that's good. When people come to a tournament, they typically show up Thursday night. The games start 8 a.m. Friday. They go till Sunday, sometimes as late as last game starts around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Often their kids will have a game at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and the next game is 6 o'clock Saturday evening. They got to have something to do, and they're not going to sit in the parking lot over here just hanging out. Kids, we've all got kids. They all get hungry. They get bored. They want things to do. We don't really have that. We don't offer it, and I'm not proposing that we do restructure our little town to do that. Without those kind of things that make the participants feel like they have a good value and have a great tournament experience when they come, word's going to get out and teams are not going to come. Long term, I think this facility, the way they're planning it and the way it's been described, is doomed to fail. And should it fail, then what's the town's position then? I think that I've heard people talk about their increased revenue to the town and things like that. I just don't see it happening. I see it being a dream. So that's all I've got for now. I'll see you at future meetings. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name's Lisa Shekels. I'm at 3706 West Watersville Road. I'm not part of Nottingham. I'm not part of the town, but my property is adjacent to this proposed annexation. I'm very much opposed to the annexation, one, for the safety of animals that we have for our property. Yes, the people have proposed that they would put, one point they said fences, then they said walking trails. We already have walking trails at Watkins Park, the ones that you guys have put in here in Mount Airy. Where, like has been just said, are these other kids going to wander off to? Our property is right adjacent to it, along with other residents, so I'm very much opposed to it.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrew Ulig. I live at 2106 Huntington Terrace. Just want to register my opposition to the proposed annexation. I don't think it serves Mount Airy's interests. I don't think it represents responsible growth for the county or for the town. So I want to oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hello. My name is Jennifer Block, and I am a resident of Nottingham. I appreciate all of your time. I've spoken up here before. I definitely echo all of my neighbors' concerns in Nottingham. One of the things that I would like you to consider while you are considering this annexation is for travel teams, The majority of the travel teams are going to be coming from areas that are about an hour to an hour and a half away from here. I don't know that I would stay here overnight for that. That's one of the magic things in Mount Airy, is that we are right off at 70. So it's really easy to get in the car and go back home to most places: Baltimore, Frederick, Virginia. These are all places that are going to come in, but they're going to go home. And as I've previously stated, when you have a sports kid, you get there just in time, then you take your tired, dirty kids home. You don't stop on the way. You've probably packed snacks. Teams pack snacks. This facility is going to have a concession stand, which means that none of the restaurants in town are going to get that business. That facility is going to get that business, which is good, but it's not going to add to anyone eating in town. They're going to eat at the concession stand, or they're going to bring their own food. I also have concern about the traffic. I have concern about the water. I have a large concern about what happens to this building and this area when this business fails. Because now we have a very specific building that serves a very specific purpose. And if it gets sold again, it might be years. What happens to that empty building? You are sitting across from a neighborhood that has a whole bunch of bored teenagers. That's a real concern. What happens when it sits for years? Who's going to watch that? Who's going to take care of it? Who's going to maintain the fields? You have to think about all of that in your long-term plan, because it might cost millions to upkeep baseball fields that nobody's playing on. So just as part of the process, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? All right, well, thank you very much again for those public comments. And once again, just to clarify, so everyone knows, more than likely, the decision on this annexation will be made at the August 3rd meeting. If any of that changes and the timeline moves up or down in any way, we will update each month moving forward. But I want to make sure that everyone is aware that we will publicize very clearly all of the dates for the future timeline as they come up. All right? Thank you very much, everyone that spoke. Next up, we're on to approval of council meeting minutes and closed minutes. First up, we have our February 2026 Town Council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval.
All right, do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving the Town Council meeting minutes from February 2nd, 2026, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm going to recuse since I was not here. Then we have our February 2026 closed meeting minutes. First up was statutory authority to close session for litigation. Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving Town Council closed meeting minutes under litigation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I will once again recuse. And last, Town Council closed meeting minutes for February 2026, subject land acquisition. Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Yes, Council President, are we voting on the version of the closed meeting minutes that were distributed to us today? Is that what we're voting on?
Yes, the second and corrected version.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving the February 2026 closed meeting minutes for land acquisition, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I will recuse once again. Thank you once again, council, for the understanding for me not being here. Next up, we have our Civil Air Patrol report with First Lieutenant Erin Lavelle. I have not seen her. So we will skip that and move on to our Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company report with Hall of Famer, Mr. Matt Hurd.
That never gets old, by the way.
And I'll never stop saying it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Town Council, Mayor. Last month, we had 131 calls in Carroll, 56 in Frederick, 13 in Howard, 4 in Montgomery. In the town zones, we had 117 calls on the Carroll County side. We had a couple of upcoming events coming up. March 6th, we have our buffet auxiliary dinner. March 15th, we have our breakfast from 7:30 to 11. And also this year, we're going to do an Easter egg hunt. It's free of charge, different age brackets, we have different stages around the carnival grounds to find the Easter eggs. Auxiliary has a cash bingo on March 21st. Dinner starts at 5, and the game starts at 6. But, we also have an auxiliary dinner this Friday, and that's fried chicken, fried flounder, ham, mashed potatoes, peas, green beans, stewed tomatoes, baked pineapple, and coleslaw. And of course, rolls and bread. But that's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Council, just a quick question. I'm presuming the Easter egg hunt is on March 15th with the
That
big
is
breakfast?
correct.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarity,
You're
yes.
welcome.
March 15th, we have the breakfast from, like I said, 7:30 to 11, and then we'll take a pause, and then at 1:30, we have the big Easter egg hunt.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next up, the Mount Airy Police Department report with Chief Ginevra. How you doing, Chief?
Good evening. Calls of service for the Mount Airy Police Department was 540 calls for service, a 3.91 decrease from February of 2025 of 562 calls. Today was the first day for our new female recruit, so hopefully she had an exciting day at the academy. She started over at the commission on today's date, and she will hopefully make it all the way through, and her graduation date is August 28 of 2026. I know I shared that at the last town meeting. I was very hopeful for her employment here within the town, and not only that, to share that quite a historic thing and a very exciting thing for Mount Airy. She's the first female officer for the town. So congratulations to that young lady. We do have one lateral application that's in the final stages. So hopefully for our next town meeting that I'll have another officer for employment here within the town. Our police services administrator position has been filled. Some folks here at the town have already had an opportunity to meet this young lady, and her name is Miss Crystal Evans. So she'll be available to help along with myself and Lieutenant Hopkins. For upcoming events, I know Mr. Evans shared along with for April 18th at the Calvary United Methodist Church, the 3rd Annual Health and Wellness Fair from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a nice event. There's a lot of vendors there, so definitely come on out. It's free to come and see that along with the food trucks and everything else. On April 11th, we will have the State Farm Insurance Company, the Teen Driver event. That's over at the Carnival Grounds at 10,008 Twin Arch Road, and that is from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's a good event, and for most people, whether or not they heard or did not hear, we had a very serious accident. It wasn't posted on our Crime Watch or Facebook post because the accident was still under investigation, but that was over at the Twin Arch Highs facility there, where there was a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, and unfortunately, the operator lost control of that vehicle and struck some of the gas pumps at the Highs facility. So hopefully, those occupants are recovering. But Carroll County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff DeWeese sent his crash team out to help the Mount Airy Police Department with that investigation. So the investigation is still obviously ongoing, but I'm sharing just very little with that due to their investigation. So again, that's the reason for not posting that information out there. So other than that, I don't have anything else to add. If anyone has any questions.
Questions, comments? All right, thank you very much.
All right, yes, sir, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
We're now on to mayor, council, and staff reports. We're going to start with our mayor, Mayor Hoschauer.
All right, the good news is through public comment, we did cover some of the things. So that basket bingo is this Saturday, 5 o'clock's when the doors open. I think the games actually start 6:30 or 7. But it's $45 at the door if you want to come and play. It's a great fundraiser for the Historical Society. Rather than reading everything in my report, I'm going to go down to something that happened in the month of February, and that's Mount Airy regretfully lost two citizens that were very active in town government. Over the last several years, they've been active. Former council member Chris Everidge passed away a few weeks ago after a long battle with cancer, so we will sincerely miss him. He was active in scouting and the Civil Air Patrol as well, so going to miss Chris. And then Carroll Rolls passed away. Carroll's been on the Ethics Commission, I believe, right at a decade, and he passed away as well, and our thoughts and prayers are with their families, and it's just a terrible loss for Mount Airy overall. So, and that's all in my report.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have the Water and Sewer Commission, Beautification Commission, Inclement Weather Task Force, and the 250th Semi-Quincentennial Committee with Councilmember Demoter.
All right, thank you very much. The Beautification Commission, we last met on February 17th, and the commission's discussion centered on planting and decorating ideas in support of the America 250 year-long celebration, such as using red, white, and blue themed plantings on Main Street in the downtown zone, and then also considering red, white, and blue icicle-style lights to place on the Wildwood Park and the Vest Pocket Park gazebos. So you're going to hear, this is a kind of an integrated theme of a lot of things kind of tying into the America 250 year-long celebration for our town. Our next meeting will be held on March 17th. Water and Sewer Commission last met on January 7th. Key item on the agenda was to discuss and vote on proposed resolution 2026-3, establishing and maintaining a water and sewer reserve balance of $4,200,000. After discussion, the resolution was unanimously passed by the Water and Sewer Commission, and as such, it is up for a vote this evening by our town council. Our next meeting will be held this Wednesday night on March 4th. Moving to Inclement Weather Task Force, we met on February 24th, and following the successful January passage of the Weather Alert Siren resolution by the Town Council, the task force efforts are now focused on working with the town staff to support the development of the scope of work to be included in an RFP for acquiring and installing the Weather Alert Siren system for our town. So accordingly, at our February meeting, the task force met with the town's engineer, and we discussed the elements that we thought needed to be included in an RFP for acquiring the Weather Alert Siren system. And the town staff will now begin to flesh out a draft of the RFP for the task force further review and consideration, with an overall goal to have an RFP available for use shortly after passage of the upcoming 2027 town budget. So we anticipate the next meeting of the task force to take place sometime later this spring to review and work towards finalizing the RFP for subsequent release. I did want to mention a very positive note. On February 24th, I got an email from Sheriff Jim DeWeese, who informed me that he has secured $10,000 of funding that he would like to donate towards our Weather Alert Siren system purchase. So if you recall, at the meeting where we passed the resolution, Sheriff DeWeese was very strong in his support of the initiative and said that he could make probably some substantial donations to the effort. So that's a first contribution from Sheriff DeWeese. So I happily thanked him for that, and we thank him for his commitment and continued support of the Weather Alert Siren system and everything else he does for our town. And then moving to the America 250 Task Force, haven't had any meetings of late. I just want to remind you the slogan for our year-long celebration is Together in Gratitude, Proud in Heritage, Celebrating 250 Years of Community. As we mark America 250, we give heartfelt thanks for our shared history, the friendships that bind us, and the blessings of our close-knit town. Again, we hope that our citizens enjoy the events we have planned for the coming year, and really just think about, with gratitude, the great town that we have and we all share, and our shared American history, and just enjoy the year and each other. I also met with Councilmember Evans at his request and his initiative to discuss how we can best integrate this year's July 3rd fireworks celebration with the themes and activities of the America 250 effort. So we had a really good conversation. I want to thank Councilmember Evans for reaching out. I love collaborating with my fellow council members, and again, I appreciate the discussion. I think you'll see some integration of some extra activities into the fireworks, so it should be a great 4th of July. And I think that concludes my report. So I thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have the Planning Commission with Councilmember Kelly.
Thank you, Council President. The Planning Commission met last week on the 23rd of February. Several items here, as it was 2 months since the commission had met, so we were kind of backed up. So town report to the Carroll County Planning Commission was approved. Also, Resolution 2026-1, the town priority map for water and sewer allocation, was approved and recommended to the council. Water allocation of categories was introduced, and a public hearing is set for March 30th, which is at 7:30 at the beginning of the next Planning Commission meeting. Signage for Moroccan Glow, our newest downtown business, was approved. Recommendation, I was scooped by the citizens, darn it. The recommendation of annexation resolution 2025-47, the Warfield property was voted on. The commission voted unanimously to oppose the annexation with 7 conditions if the council ends up voting for it. Ordinance 2026-1, mobile food truck units, was introduced and with a partial discussion. And ordinance 2026-2, process and standards for reclassification of property within the town, was introduced with some discussion. The Planning Commission will meet next on March 30th. Again, it will open with that public hearing regarding water allocation of categories. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have our Streets and Roads Commission, Commission on Aging and Livability, and the Flatiron Task Force with Councilmember Munder.
All right, thank you, Council President. For the Cole meeting, I was unable to attend this month's meeting due to a family commitment. The next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, March 25th at 5 p.m., but I do want to make an announcement. For the Cole Commission, we are in the beginning stages of forming out a pilot MOU for the Frederick County residents to be able to take Carroll County Transit to anywhere within Carroll County within limits. So please keep an eye out on the website for that information. It is scheduled as of now to begin April 1st, and it's not an April Fool's joke. So there will be inter-county transportation between Frederick and Carroll County starting April 1st on a pilot and trial basis. So if you have needs, a senior that needs to get to a doctor somewhere, give it a call and just look at the website for more information. Streets and Roads, there was no meeting last month since the commission only meets in the odd months. So the next meeting is Tuesday, March 31st at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall. But I do want to give 2 updates. If you have not seen it recently on Facebook and other locations, I-70, the bridge or the on-ramp to I-70 from 27 is under repair beginning this week. The beginning stages are being taken. It is an extensive repair, but weather permitting, hopefully, I believe sometime in mid-summer, hopefully the ramp will be open, maybe sooner, depending on weather. Also, if you've traveled South Main, I'm sure you've noticed progress on the roundabout. As far as I know, it is still scheduled for probably late March, sometime in April, completion and finishing. Again, weather dependent, but they are making great progress on that. For the Flatiron Task Force, the biggest announcement that I have for that is that we did receive the federal grant funding of $850,000. Thank you, Councilwoman Elthriff. and the other people of our federal delegation for getting this through the federal budget process. And we are currently doing a structural assessment and studies on interior demolition assessments on how to best use that money. And that concludes my reports.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have the EDC and the Recycling and Sanitation Commission with Council Secretary Evans.
Thank you. Sanitation did not meet in February, even though I showed up to the meeting because I jacked my schedule up. They will meet in the odd months on March 18th, 2026. For the EDC, we had a guest speaker, Martina Hatley. She brought in a nice little presentation about the need for health services closer to Mount Airy, as we live in an aging community and the towns around us are building aggressively and adding homes at an alarming rate. So they came up with an idea to first put out a health survey that EDC will work with the Planning Commission to create and get that out to the citizens of Mount Airy. I'll keep you updated on anything that happens after that. The food truck Monday discussion happened, and we received a unanimous support for the town to support the Food Truck Monday on Facebook and the social medias and so on and so forth. There was some discussion about being more inclusive to some of the businesses. That's down the road, so it was given a unanimous decision finally for the town to be able to support Food Truck Mondays. Business Spotlight social media form is rolling out. It's being done interview style, excuse me. Mayor, was that Tuesday?
Well, it's supposed to be, but Carter Q said that they can't do it tomorrow, so I was looking for another restaurant to go to. Because I'll be hungry. Interviews are being done by the mayor, myself as a liaison for EDC, and other members of the EDC. And then our next meeting for EDC is March 25th, 2026. And that concludes my reports for today.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have the Board of Recreation and Parks and the Sustainability Commission with myself. First and most importantly for the Parks and Rec board meeting, I'm pleased to announce that the Four County Youth Athletic Association and the Mount Airy Youth Athletic Association came to terms on their own where they were able to fairly and equitably allocate the fields for themselves, and they agreed on all terms, so we did not have to have an in-person meeting or decide as a Parks and Rec committee. So kudos to both of those programs and the leadership and, working amicably and sharing a lot of fields to do what's best for the kids in a whole. So happy to announce that, because that's usually the big sticking point for Parks and Rec. Luckily, we got a year off this year. Next up, Nancy had asked me to announce Mount Airy Historical Society presents a Tree Talk event. The date is April 7th, time is 7 p.m. at the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company, and it is free. Learn about the importance of this native tree to early life in America, as well as modern efforts to save American chestnuts after a blight wreaked havoc on eastern forests. So if you have any interest in that, again, it's April 7th at 7 p.m. And then we have a 10th annual box and bag bingo, which is Saturday, March 7th. Doors open at 5, bingo starts at 7, and that is at the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company reception hall at 1008 Twin Arch Road. It looks like there's going to be about 20 regular games, 4 specials, raffles, 50-50. Dinner and snacks will also be available there. Again, it starts at 7 p.m., and the cost is $45 at the door. So 2 pretty good events there. The Sustainability Commission did not meet, so I'll have an update next month on them, and that concludes my report. Next up, we have the Town Attorney Report with Mr. Tom McCarron.
First, I have nothing new to report on the ongoing litigation involving Pleasance Development and concerning the Beck property. It is as it has been for about the last 60 days. All the briefing's been done, and we simply await the appellate court assigning a hearing date for oral argument. Otherwise, I don't have anything new to report other than the agenda items on tonight's agenda, which I can address as they come up on the agenda.
All right, great, thank you. We all have copies of the town administrator report, the code enforcement report, and the zoning administrator report. Does anyone have anything to add to those reports?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Next up, we're on the new business. First up, we have recommendation for approval for the Town Hall improvements Phase 2. Barney is not here, but Barney number 2 is here, Ms. Julian Friedman. So if you want, I can relinquish over to you just for a brief overview of kind of what we're looking at and explain it to the citizens, and then we'll have a motion and discuss from there. Thank you.
Okay, so phase 1 of this project was completed last year, and we updated the lobby with a new glass door and a few other improvements. Phase 2 involves an addition to the rear of the building and includes a stairwell and potential storage space. We're working with Mosley, who is also designing the police station, and they gave us a proposal for $95,504. The FY 2026 budget has approximately $24,000 remaining for this project. The other $71,504 will be taken out of the FY 2027 budget, which has $384,000 proposed for this project. Town staff recommends the town council to approve award of the proposal for 100% design of town hall improvements Phase 2 in the amount of $95,504 to Mosley Designs.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and make a motion.
I'll make the motion for approval of the award to Mosley Designs in the sum of $95,504 related to the design of Phase 2 of Town Hall improvements.
All right, do we have a second? Do we have a second? All right, hearing no second, I'll make a motion real quick. Oh, you want to talk, Mayor?
Yeah, I just wanted to point this out because I don't know where the second's going to go. So this is something that came up a couple of years ago about the security here in Town Hall. There were a lot of issues that were going on with First Amendment auditors, which are not so bad because they're just coming in and auditing. We're fine with that. But there were also a lot of concerns about active shooters and that sort of stuff that was going on. As part of that discussion, we decided that we wanted to do some things here in Town Hall that would improve it in terms of security. So we redid the front end of the building to take care of that end, but we also realized that we are all trapped back here and everybody is trapped in this council room should anybody come in as an active shooter or trying to cause any sort of aggression. So the concept is to put a door back here so that we can exit the building to the back if we got a problem coming through the front. Makes a lot of sense, but it also costs a lot of money. So, it's a matter of risk assessment and figuring out if that's the best place to put our money at this time. So that's kind of how this evolved, and that's how we got to this point. And Mosley is a company that is designing our police station now. So our town engineer reached out to them to get a proposal, and that's where this $95,000 comes from. In our budget for next year, we actually have a note that's on the side of our big book here, okay? And the note on the side says, was $384,000 moved to fiscal year 27? But that's not, that's a note on the side. That's not something that got voted on, okay? So it's just kind of hanging out there, and we have a lot of expenses in this town that we're trying to figure out. So, but that kind of gives you how we got here. So if it doesn't get seconded, doesn't get seconded. If it does, great, and we can have the further discussion. I'll stay out of it at that point. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Do we have a second? All right, hearing none, I'll actually make a follow-up motion to postpone the approval of this until the fiscal year 2027 budget is approved. Do we have a second on that?
I would like to second that.
Okay. Now we're in discussion portion. I guess what I'll do is I'll say my reasoning for that. I think that we all were very clear with the front end, and I think it turned out very, very good. I'm actually on board with this. The issue that I'm actually having is the fact that we are allocating funds in the amount of $95,504 pertaining to a budget that we actually haven't approved yet. That, to me, is something I'm not necessarily comfortable with. I think that if we wait 3 months to actually approve the budget and we see everything up front, the problem is we do have a lot of projects out there, in my opinion. We have the police station, we have the roundabout, and that whole process, was what it was. I just want to see everything up front in black and white, and then I want to itemize them as items of importance from top to bottom. Where this stands, I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm not comfortable allocating any funds without seeing everything first. So I know we have 24,000 approximately remaining from this year. I did speak with Katie. I think we can allocate that into next year. It's not like we're going to lose that money. But to me, it's hard to allocate funds in the amount of $95,504 in committing that without first approving the budget and seeing everything else that we are already committed to and then where we end up. So I think that this can wait. That's my opinion. But we do have a second. We are in the discussion portion of it. I do think that it probably should happen, but I don't feel comfortable allocating funds based on a fiscal year 27 budget proposal yet. So that's where I'm at. I'll relinquish to anyone else who wishes to speak.
No, Council President, no, I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out, are you concerned, not concerned, but are you concerned, like this 71,000 is coming out of the fiscal year 2027 to cover it because we haven't approved the 27 budget yet? Because I was looking at it a little bit differently. We were just moving money that was potentially budgeted for 2027 and making like a budget amendment, just moving money that was already there. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you were looking at the total budget of that.
Yeah, for me, it's two things. One, we don't have 71,000 already budgeted for it. We actually
Okay.
have 24,000 budgeted for it right now. And we have a balance of 71,504 that is not budgeted at all right now. We're not just simply moving funds from one to the
Okay.
other. If we had the funds in this year's budget, then I would probably vote for it because we approved fiscal year 26
Okay.
budget. As of right now, we have not approved fiscal year 27's budget.
Okay.
And it's going to require $71,504 to come out from it. And without seeing everything up front, I don't know if that's a smart financial move. And to be honest, $71,000 in the grand scheme of our budget is not a big ticket item. We can all agree on that. The other problem is setting a precedent and agreeing on funding before you approve the funding. That is not a process that I want to particularly take part in. That's not a precedent that I would want this council to set, regardless of the amount, whether it's $5. The fact is, we need to see everything to make the best knowledgeable decision for the biggest items all the way down to the least amount of money. And to allocate any funds based on a budget that we haven't seen or approved or had public hearings on or even discussed, I think that's a big ask, and I think it's honestly incorrect.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in my head to understand what you think. It's not going to devolve into anything bad. It's just, when you say everything, you're talking about the budget in general, the whole budget for 2027. Okay, it's just not the design, construction, and everything.
No, it's
of
not. The process and the design and all
project
that
itself,
stuff
I
is
mean.
fine. The problem is, we don't
Okay.
have the money in this year's budget to approve this
Okay.
project.
Okay, I get
Right?
what you,
Now,
yeah.
after we go through the budget cycle and everything's vetted out, the money will be there more than likely, right? But right now, I'm not comfortable assigning $71,504 based on fiscal year's 27's proposed budget.
Okay.
I would like to see everything up front, and then we know exactly where we're at.
Gotcha.
And then we go from there. I think waiting a couple months is probably okay. Juliet, I'll kind of ask you, I mean, there was not like a major rush on this, correct?
No, there wasn't a major rush. I think what Barney was thinking was that we would spend the 24,000 and they would basically do what they can with that amount, and then we would pause and then, go into the next fiscal year. But it's not, the budget hasn't been passed yet, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got it, yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah, to me, it's just, again, it's not so much the 71,000, that's a smaller ticket item for our total budget, but it's not our money.
Yeah.
And I want to see everything before we allocate
the
any
budget,
funds. Yeah.
And it's not and you've made it clear, it's not the project itself.
No.
Okay, yeah, no, I just wanted,
The process.
okay, cool. I'm good, thank you.
Councilmember DeMar-
Yeah, I wanted to offer some comments, and they kind of reaffirm what Council President Washabaugh kind of went over. I'll touch upon a couple, I'll expand on some of his points. Yeah, I looked at this, and I was very uncomfortable, again, voting on, it says, town staff recommends town council to approve award of the proposal for 100% design of the Phase 2 improvements. I was not going to approve something where a good part of the money is coming out of next year's budget, and we haven't even been presented that budget, we haven't voted on that budget. It looks like the total cost for the project, never mind the upfront cost of $95,000, it says there's $384,000 proposed for this project, so that plus $24,000, it sounds like a $400,000 project. It may be a worthy project, but I need to weigh this project against other projects I may see in the proposed budget. I think about the police station. What if the police station requires more money? Maybe $400,000 to $500,000 priority should be to a police station and not for these kinds of improvements. I know there's a safety initiative for cameras in the downtown zone. Maybe that's a higher priority than putting some stairways on the back of this building. So those are my same issues. The other thing is I am and I appreciate Mayor Hushhour, I'm the liaison on the police station design and construction project. And so I've sat in on Zoom meetings of about 6 to 8 design meetings. And in my view, that police station project is challenging in many ways. And that project will resolve itself probably in the coming months in terms of a design. But I'm still assessing the performance of the Mosley designers as part of this project. So that's the other part of this. I didn't understand why we didn't even go out for bid for this project. It's like the town just decided, well, we're going to piggyback onto Mosley and award them this work, and it wasn't even bid out, and maybe there's a reason for that, but I was uncomfortable with that as well. So for all of those reasons, I would not vote for this evening. I figure bring this back in June. That'll be after we have the approved budget for next year, and then we can assess that. So thank you.
Comments? Question? Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Again, this is something that was discussed a couple of years ago. It was certainly discussed during the last budget year. Mosley was easy to tag onto, and the staff is just trying to get, something done that was on the radar. But it's totally understandable, and we're not, between the executive body and the staff, we understand that priorities are out there, and you have to balance all the risks with everything else. So it's not going to break our heart to wait. We did our due diligence. We presented something in front of you, and if you're not ready for it, we totally respect it. So.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we do have a motion, we have a second. We went through discussion, so we'll go ahead and take a vote on the motion, which is to table the recommendation for approval for Town Hall Improvements Phase 2 until the June meeting, which I will have it back on the agenda in June following the approved fiscal year 2027 budget. And it'll be back up in June for approval or non-approval. So all in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. And thank you, Julian. All right, next up, we have a PSA, or a purchase sale agreement for approval. Looks like for SH Watersville LLC, the Mount Airy Apartments. I'm going to relinquish to our mayor, Mr. McCarron, for a overview.
Yeah, I believe this
Attorney.
is property.
Town attorney, Mr. McCarron, for an overview.
Before,
That's you want to trade paychecks?
I never. Oh, Lord. Don't work too hard.
Still getting my feet wet, missing a meeting.
Before the council is a proposed purchase and sale agreement for a portion of the Mount Airy Apartments parcel, as it's called in this agreement. The portion that the town, if approved, would purchase is just over 0.15 of an acre. It's the portion of that parcel that already abuts the southern boundary of the parcel already owned by the town, on which is situated a town water treatment facility. The idea being, once procured, we would, I believe the plan is to expand the water treatment facility there in order to, for the purposes of treating PFAS, as I understand it. The basic terms of the proposed purchase and sale agreement, which, by the way, has been approved by the other side, the current owners of the Mount Airy apartment parcel, as well as their council. The total purchase price would be $90,000. That was a purchase price agreed to by the town with the prior owner before the ownership changed, and therefore this kind of stalled till the new owners came on board. There'd be a $5,000 deposit into an interest-bearing account. The deposit and the interest would be credited against the $90,000 total purchase price at closing, with the town paying at closing the balance. There'd be a study period, as there usually is in these matters, proposed for 60 days from the effective date of the agreement, the effective date being the date that essentially we signed the agreement. Closing would be another 30 days after the study period, so roughly 90 days out from execution of this agreement. And then there are other fairly basic terms as well. As these purchase and sale agreements go, modeled after the others that we've entered into and in fact closed on for the roundabout by way of example. So that is why this is before you. If approved, it would authorize the mayor to execute on behalf of the town. We would then send it to the other side for execution. Again, this contains their changes, which I found acceptable, and as written, is already approved by the other side.
All right, thank you. Mayor? Or, I'm sorry, attorney?
Okay. All right. So again, this is about PFAS remediation, and I'll put the staff out there real quick. This funding to purchase this property, Katie, this can come out of the PFAS remediation money? Okay, so in other words, we should get reimbursed, or it comes out of the lawsuit money that we've gained over the years. So, and we definitely can't, we can't go in there and fix the PFAS issue without having the property to put the material on, so.
Right. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the PSA for the SH Watersville LLC for the Mount Airy Apartments for the amount of $90,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Council President, I have a few questions. So can the town staff remind me the water treatment plant station that we're getting the extra property for? Which station in Wells?
This is water station number 2.
Okay, this is water station number 2. So we're going to buy this property and we're going to proceed. And then regarding the money to install the treatment systems, maybe this is a question for staff or the mayor. I know we applied for grants from the state. Did we receive those grants and do we have money to then go ahead after we purchase the property to begin installation of a treatment system? What's the timeline once we do that?
Well, what we have is forgivable loans through the MDE at roughly $2 million per water station, and we have 4 out of our 5 of our water stations that need to be remediated. I believe as part of the bond council discussion we had about the police station, we were also looking at them to provide information as to how to get reimbursed for those forgivable loans from the MDE. But we've also been collecting money through the lawsuits. So as far as how we recoup the funding that goes into that, I'll have to defer to Katie or Jared if you have an answer.
Yeah, I guess, let me try and clarify my question is, once we get the property, then we're ready to put a treatment system on. Do we have the money from the grants yet to implement the treatment system? And if not, when would we get that so we can start to execute?
Okay, so we would basically have to fund it first.
Okay.
So, and then we would essentially get a reimbursed from,
MDE.
yeah, MDE. But there's certain things that we have, certain milestones we have to meet first before we can request reimbursement. And we are meeting those, but we're not quite there. But like Mayor was saying, we've been reimbursed through this class action settlement for most of our costs so far, except for little things like attorney fees and stuff like that.
Okay. And I have another question. So I have a concern because water treatment plant number 3, which is comprised of well number 7 and well number 11. And this is the treatment plant that's off of Park Avenue, essentially in the Twin Ridge development. And well number 7 has consistently the highest level of PFAS among all of our wells. And it has consistently been the highest at least 19 parts per trillion and sometimes higher. So I would implore the town, that should be the first priority. If we're going to put any remediation treatment system in place, you should focus on the wells and the treatment plant that has consistently the highest PFAS. If I were running the show, that's the way I'd attack the problem. So why are we not focusing first on WTP3? I can go along with buying the property for what's being proposed, but I want to see action first on WP3 because that's where you have the well that is consistently the highest PFAS, and it affects my community, my constituents in Twin Ridge. So any feedback on that?
So our design that we're getting done is going to be the same design for all the stations. It's going to be the same fix for all those stations. So right now, we're in that design phase, and we have to get all of that done first. But, I mean,
No.
Barney's not here, and I can't speak for him, but I'm sure, obviously, that would make the most sense, that your station that has the highest amount of PFAS is going to be your first one.
Okay, Council President, now I need to make a point here. We have veered off the discussion of this topic, of the purchase and sale agreement. We are now listening to which plant needs first priority in the treatment system. That is nowhere near the purchase and sale agreement. This purchase and sale agreement is solely for the purchase of approximately 0.1515 acres. So any discussion related to which treatment plant gets what first over the others is outside of this realm of this purchase and sale and the topic of discussion that was approved.
We are, to the point, we are working on Water Station 3 as well. I'm trying to remember where we're at in terms of acquiring that property, because there's a footprint that we're trying to get out of that property as well. And then the other stations, we either own the land or we're working on that too, so.
Yeah, so we've already procured that part.
That's what I was thinking.
Parcel
Yep.
about 2 years ago.
Yeah, so we're already working on Water Station 3. So, and that is a priority. So, thank you, though.
So just a follow-up question, if I may. So, will that treatment station be the first priority in terms of implementation?
They're all priorities, Steve. They're all priorities.
I think that'll probably be a Barney question. Maybe you can shoot him an email.
Okay.
Because obviously he's not here tonight. But yeah, we can,
I just hope you understand the logic of the question. It does seem like you should attack that first.
Well, what I,
My view, so,
never mind what I understand.
very good.
all good. All right, well, thank you. Any other comments, questions?
Just a quick one. Oh, sorry, sorry, Sean, if I interrupt, I didn't see the raise your hand. If I did, I apologize. I just want to clarify, it mentions two sides of properties. It looks like we're just purchasing .1515 acres of it, not anything closer to 5.1, just mentioned the first part. Okay, I just want to make sure of that. Thank you.
Any other? No? All right, we have a motion on the table for PSA for approval for SH Watersville LLC or Mount Airy Apartments. There was a motion and a second. All in favor of the purchase and sale agreement for SH Watersville LLC, Mount Airy Apartments, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Next up, this will be pretty quick. We have a PWA cost estimate for approval, Southside Plaza. Tom, we didn't get all the information for this, correct? So we're
Right,
gonna.
so the issue here is going to be that the town is going to recommend an approval of a PWA that imposes off-site improvements for the roundabout or a percentage of them, given the impact that the development of this property will have had on the roundabout. And the developer disagrees with that charge. And so in April, by way of preview, you will have before you a PWA that contains that off-site improvement charge. But the developer and developer representatives will be here to argue that the town shouldn't or can't lawfully impose that off-site improvement charge. Barney and I will disagree about that. Barney and I together will disagree with the developer about that, to be clear, and, you know, it will ultimately be up to this body to determine whether that stays in the PWA or it does not.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to table this.
Yep.
Then until the April meeting, which it will then be back on the agenda with more information to come. Do we have a second?
I'll second. With just a comment or request to the mayor, if possible, can we have a little bit more than just a spreadsheet in the,
yeah.
in the
So
April
you will-
package, please?
So you will receive the PWA. First of
Okay, the
all,
agreement
which otherwise
itself.
will be fairly standard.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll probably get something privileged from me.
Okay, cool, thank you.
All right. So we have a motion to postpone, or I'm sorry, yeah, to postpone until April.
April.
And it's been seconded. So all in favor of postponing the PWA cost estimate for approval for Southside Plaza, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. And thank you, Tom. Next up, we have our commission appointments and reappointments with Mayor Hushhour.
Yeah, I have no one that I wish to reappoint or nominate this month. Thanks.
Thank you.
So no one came up to
But
the
if they
plate?
came up, I would reappoint him. I hate to put it that way. If Ralph were up, I would reappoint Ralph. So,
Ralph, are there any other commissions you want to sit on?
You can volunteer some people. All right, next up, we have ordinances and resolutions. First up is annexation resolution 2025-47. This is 50.98 acres, more or less, of land located along the north side of Watersville Road. We are here to schedule a public hearing. So I don't know if we got an email out, but we were looking at that first or third week of June, that Wednesday.
Okay.
If you could just check your,
So we're talking about a separate public hearing instead of
we are
putting it in front
not,
of a.
we are not doing it on the same of a town council.
I just wanted to make sure, that's what I thought, I just want to clarify that too.
That's why I said the first or third week of June.
First or third week of June, okay.
It'd be a Wednesday.
Third week of June is the conference, right? And I'm out
We're
of town.
we're looking at after that. So we're back on the 17th. This would be, I think, what's that Wednesday date? 24th is after. So Wednesday, the 24th, or Wednesday, the 10th? Yeah, are the two dates thrown out.
I guess as of now, I should be, I mean, it's kind of far to dictate, but yeah, we should be good.
I like the 10th. I can do either, but the 10th would be perhaps better.
Okay. How's everyone feel?
I will say that the calendar is more open in that week of the 8th and the 10th would be the
Okay,
clear.
okay. So why don't we look at, how does everyone feel about June 10th, 7 PM here at Town Hall?
Yeah, that should be okay, yeah.
Do you want to start it a little bit earlier because of the amount of?
My biggest concern is I know there's going to be a lot of people that want to be here and be heard with work, traffic and stuff. If you're 6:30, 6 o'clock, it kind of pushes that limit a little bit. I think 7 PM is, generally a good time for everybody if we're comfortable with that. Good.
Buying pizza for everybody?
Mayor's buying pizza. So, all right, we'll go ahead and lock in June 7th, or June 10th, 7 PM here at Town Hall for the public hearing regarding the annexation. Good? All right. Thank you. All right, next up, we have Resolution 2026-3, establishing and maintaining a water and sewer rate reserve balance of $4.2 million for adoption. Do we have a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion on this. I move to adopt Town Council Resolution 2026-3 for establishing and maintaining a water and sewer reserve balance of $4,200,000.
Okay, I'll second to get us into discussion. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, unless somebody else wants to go first.
Go ahead, Carl, you're good.
All right, where should I begin? First off, this motion or this resolution should be completely altered. It is as currently drafted, it is a legislative overreach into the executive power of this council, of the mayor. I do not mind the language and the wording related solely to the maximum and minimum settings within the ordinance. It is also, according to the report and the recommendation by the Water and Sewer Commission, which is in the report that we have regarding the ordinance, it is totally not what the Water and Sewer Commission was advised us that they will be presenting for us in December. So again, it was just for the minimum and maximum like it has been in the past. Every other ordinance we've done this has never reached over to the executive branch to mandate them to tell us reports, even though it's already mandated in the code. It should just be a simple resolution related to the minimum and maximum account balances, which is fine. But as currently drafted, it is a total overreach by this body onto the executive side, currently and future. So as currently drafted, I request this body to, I want to say veto, but that's not to say oppose this resolution as drafted. I do have suggested edits that pretty much just puts it back to the way it should be, and as suggested by the Water and Sewer Commission.
I have some comments, but unless others want to chime in first, but I can respond to those.
Well, I can jump in since Councilmember Munder brought up the executive. I mean, it is a little bit wordy, but I actually found two words that would make it palatable to the executive branch, and that is if you're willing to amend, Councilmember Demoter, it would be for, on page 2, going down to now therefore be it resolved, and jump down to C, where it says, under the direction of the mayor. And you can stop right there, and it says, under the direction of the mayor, the town administrator, in consultation with appropriate staff and incorporating the Water and Sewer Commission's review and recommendations per its duties set forth in Town Code 38-3. And then you have the shall word, which made me look at it closer. Shall perform the following and provide findings and recommendations in an annual report to the council, okay? So when I read that, you're telling me, and this is mandatory for me, to tell Jared, our town administrator, to go out to the staff and have them generate a report to bring to the town council. Okay, I get that. But I do think that that's where it goes a little bit far, and I think with two words we can fix it, and that's on your fourth line where it says, perform the following, and if you could be willing to insert upon request, provide findings and recommendations in the annual report to the town council. So that way, if you guys ask for it, we'll deliver it, okay? But I don't want it to just be a mandatory thing that lives on from here through, perpetuity forever, because, I mean, there's, councils come and go. And I do know that there are diligent people on this council that want to see that. But in 3 years, the council may say, just take care of business and do what you need to do, and maybe there is no question and no problem. So if you're willing to add upon request in that line, then the executive would be okay with it.
So I support this 100%. We need to do it. And I do agree, after listening to the mayor, I think that helps it be more palatable to your words. My comment is, because I give reports all the time from people at work, and I'm like, why are you giving me this report? I don't need it. Everything is in another report. So to have a mandated report, kind of, if we need it, we can ask for it. I agree with you 100% on that. Can the report also provide potential needs for projects in the upcoming year? Like if we know 3 or 4 months that we're gonna have to spend a ton of money for something, so that we can look at it and adjust on the fly instead of being handcuffed with something that comes to the council and just dropped on our plate, so that we have to make a decision in a rash. And I don't know if that's, I've not been on the Water and Sewer Commission. I don't know if that's something that is easy enough for them to do. I don't want to create more work for our volunteers, God forbid. They do a great job as it is. But that would be one thing that I would like to see in it as well, because that's going to fluctuate that reserve money. And then 10 years from now, are we stuck with this 44,200,000, 2,100,000, or is that going to be adjusted yearly, bi-yearly, every 5 years, every 10 years, so on and so forth? So that just having that number being stuck there without flexibility of moving it and not knowing about upcoming projects kind of makes me a little leery of it, but I support the resolution. Other than that, 100%.
Council President? Okay, so a couple things on this. I'll just touch the most recent comment first, to Councilmember Evans. If you look on page 2B, it says, council resolves to maintain a reserve fund of $4,200,000 adjusted at the beginning of each fiscal year. So that number would slide based on inflation. Secondly, if you read further down to C1, kind of to your point, but it's much more broader and to me important. It says, monitor implementation of the town's multi-year water and sewer capital improvement and operating plan, and then do these things. So that's the whole point of this, is that, we're supposed to have a multi-year capital improvement and operating plan. We're trying to set reserved balances so that we don't get in the situation we got in that led us to the position where we're at now, which is why we have to raise rates. And so the whole purpose of this is to provide management curbstones that says every year the town, within the executive branch and also within the Water and Sewer Commission and under the Water and Sewer Commission charter duties, they are assigned to do these types of things, and that's why you have the wording in the whereas statements about that. This is to ensure that every year we're going to look at our CIP, we're going to look at the revenue that's come in from the rate increases, we're going to see if we're on track in implementing that CIP, we're going to be mindful of the current inflation rates and such, which is further down under 2. And if we're spending too much money, then we're going to make some modifications. We might delay some projects. We may look for efficiencies in how we do work. But there are action steps here under 1A and B, and then number 2, to make sure that we are implementing our plans and the money's coming in the way we expect, and any lessons learned from that year of implementation we're factoring back in. And we may find, for example, and this is purposely dovetailed into the ordinance for water and sewer rate increases, because the two work together. The resolution says, these are the reserve targets that we're going to manage to. And then it says, here's how we're going to manage this process and report back to the town council. So the town council annually understands how it's been going. And if we need to make some modifications, the council can say, we may need to raise rates more than 3% annually because inflation has gone up so much. We may see that the inflation rates have gone down. So we may need to adjust the rates moving forward differently than what the ordinance says. And this ensures that we are taking a management approach to making sure our rate increases are working the way we think they should. My biggest concern with the water and sewer rate increase ordinance, and I've expressed this, I applaud the town for all the work they've done on structuring the tiers, restructuring the tiers. That was something I asked for. I like almost everything in it. The thing that's hanging me up is the last part of that rate structure that says, in year 6, there'll be an annual adjustment of 3% increase annually into perpetuity.
Hey, Steve, real quick, I hate to interrupt you.
Okay.
But we'll get to that on the
Okay.
next one. We have to go through.
All right, but they are-
motion in a second, and then we can talk
I
about
got you. Okay,
that.
let me
Let's-
wrap up. So,
Let's stick with this.
So they are connected. Here is my issue. I could hardwire some of these requirements into the ordinance we're about to speak to. I was trying to keep that clean. I was trying to build into the resolution, which is the policy, that says our policy is going to be, we're keeping reserves to these targets. We're going to annually review the implementation of the rate increases, and the council will get briefs so that they're aware and they can make decisions on what may need to happen in the future. Absent this language, I cannot support the rate increase ordinance. I'm just giving you a heads up, because this provides to me the management benchmarks that we need. So and to the mayor, I don't know that we're giving, I think we have other resolutions that provide direction to the council and to other bodies. So this isn't the first one that will be doing that. I cannot accept putting in upon request because, then you've lost the formality of getting this report every year, both from the Water and Sewer Commission and from the town administrator. So I thought this was a pretty flexible, accommodating way to address this. It's in a policy resolution, it's not hardwired. It says an annual report. That doesn't mean it has to be 50 pages, it can be an oral report. But if you all wish to take this out, I will not support that, and it's going to impact my ability to support the upcoming ordinance. So, thank you.
Mr. Councilman, yeah, it'd be quite nothing. Mr. Mayor, is this, well, let me get this straight here. So he's mandating something for you to do that is already mandated in code for the Water and Sewer Commission to do. So therefore, I don't ever recall receiving anything from the Water and Sewer Commission related to what they're supposed to be doing already. I'm not blaming you, I'm not blaming. So right now, we're not even receiving what we want or what's required from it. So that's the first thing. Second, intertwining a resolution with an ordinance is sketchy to begin with. One fails, other fails, or vice versa. Or somebody uses it to not vote for something that the town needs. Thirdly, does this need to be done tonight? Because if we refuse it, it's just an ordinance setting a mandatory, a max and minimum later down the road. So we can do that anytime after we discuss the ordinance at the next meeting or the following meeting and take it out where it's just the minimum and maximum, like all the past ordinances that have related to this topic. None of them have related to any reports or anything else. So my question is, what has changed? That all of a sudden we need to mandate reports, and obviously we've heard from them before, just before questioning the town engineer, that if he ran the show, this is what he's trying to do with this ordinance. He's trying to run the show of this town with this. That's it, sir.
Easy.
That's it, sir. Thank you.
Council President, just it's one sentence.
It's not going to go back and forth. That's
No, I just want to reemphasize, you read it's a resolution, not an ordinance, but if you read this, it says, the Water and Sewer Commission voted unanimously in favor of this resolution. I purposely brought this process-wise to the Water and Sewer Commission, and actually the commission chair said he really liked the wording in it, and they all unanimously agreed. So to say that this is something that the commission does not want, that is not factually correct.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Just 1 minute quickly, thank you. I think Councilman DeMoner and I talked before this too. There's a couple things in the wording here. Maybe it's a private sector versus public sector. I don't know. I would have liked the percentages tied to the, budget reserves. But my question here, question. I just want to. Is this worded the 4.2 and the 2.1? Is this worded so? I heard the phrase in perpetuity earlier. Years from now, is that going to be understood that that 4.2, man, when was our budget 4.2 million? Is it going to understand that it's going to be should be adjusted every year from now? I guess it's kind of maybe that's a staff question.
So are you saying,
If you read this 10 years from now,
so are you saying like anywhere where 4.2 million is, it would be 100%,
of budget,
and then anywhere that 2.1 would actually read 50%,
yeah,
of budget?
I'm not really. I'm at the point now where neither the resolution to me and the ordinance, they're good. They're not perfect, but we have to move forward. That's kind of where I'm at tonight. There's a spoiler alert, I guess, for the next. But so yeah, it's kind of I guess this is a question. Is that specifically understood years from now that 4.2 was based on starting point of 0 year this year.
I think I can give you an answer that'll make it clear. And by the way, we did get a report. We've been getting reports since last fiscal year concerning our water and sewer infrastructure. So in the back of this report are previous resolutions, okay, from different times on what that minimum reserve balance should be.
Okay.
So there's one in here that's at 1.3, okay? Another one was introduced at 3.1. So my answer to your question is, 5 years from now, if things change, they create another resolution, and they come in and they modify it at that point. So does that answer it?
Thank you, yep.
And Sean, if you don't mind me just jumping in real quickly, yeah, those numbers are, they're federally and state recognized numbers for towns of our size, to where we should try to strive for 1 year's worth in of our annual budget in our reserves, but no less than 6 months.
Right.
And so we decided not to use percentages or 6 months to 1 year, just because we wanted to get a little specific, and we took those numbers based on exactly the numbers we're trying to reach in our
Right.
ordinance numbers. So we did try to get very specific, and the mayor's correct in that if we come to those numbers 5, 10 years from now and they're not even close to what we need anymore, we would just have to adjust. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, I think on the mayor's request to insert 2 words, I would ask that we consider that. I think it's a simple request. I think compromising here and moving forward is really, it feels urgent to me. So I'd like to express that.
Council President, I'll be nice this time. I just want to read.
Don't have a choice.
I know, you'll put the gavel on me or my head, so yes. I just want to read this comment from a December 15th, 2025 memo that was sent to Town Administrator Gerald Schumacher, Town Engineer Barney Quinn from the Water and Sewer Commission, and it's signed by Richard Swanson. It lists what he would like to see. There's the second bullet point, a resolution committing the town to set a target to maintain a minimum reserve amount equal to 1 year's operating and capital expenditure. So that we've got that. Nowhere in this mentions requiring the mayor to do a report. So basically, this is signed December 15th of last year, 3 months ago. And all of a sudden, we get something that mandates a report from the town. I would say we wait a month or two, put a resolution in place setting the maximum and minimum as requested exactly by the Water and Sewer Commission.
Council Secretary, do you have any? I'm good. Okay. Mayor?
Okay, I'll ask you. Councilmember Demoter, if you add those 2 words, upon request, and I have no doubt for all the time that you stay on this council, we'll get that request, and we'll provide that, okay? I think it's an easy thing to throw in there that would provide some flexibility. Again, it's not about the next 3 years, it's about a council that's here 5 years from now. And you guys can request it every year. It certainly is it's a small bone to throw the executive's way, but keeps the intent of the resolution. And all it does is just means that every year you guys request it. If it's requested, we're going to provide it. So, but I know a council member has to make a motion to amend it, and I hope someone does. So.
Would you entertain a comment, a reply back to the mayor on that?
We
or-
can do one more, then we'll move on.
Okay. So, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate your point, but that is kind of the point, that you're saying, well, if we put upon request in here, we can request it every year, but what if this council isn't here in 5 years? They may not even request it. I mean, it's the same argument, well, I'd be talking about the ordinance, so I don't want to do that, but that's the concern. I argue it the other way. I think to show the constituents that we are serious about managing our process annually and making adjustments as we need to, I would think they would want this kind of a policy that we do this every year. So I'm looking at it from that perspective too. But I understand your position.
Yeah, well, I will admit that this council has a couple members on it that are extremely diligent and in the weeds, and that's not a bad thing. But there, there have been councils over the years who have gotten in the weeds, and then there are some councils that don't. And to produce a report and everything, it takes time. You have to go to the meetings, and I'm not against all that. I'm just saying, ask for it and we'll give it. And I think that's a very minor thing to throw in here if a council member wants to make that amendment, because I can't as a mayor. So.
All right, I'll go ahead and go. As you all know, usually I like to speak last anyway, just to hear everybody out. And people are tired of hearing me talk anyway. So.
Not yet. You're making up for last month.
I was actually on board, pretty firm with this, and the sole purpose is to ensure that no future council has to sit in a position that we're sitting in now. And that is that, we've already had to raise rates once. That rate increase was vastly incorrect. We denied another vastly incorrect one, and luckily the town and the executive side really put in the work, and I can't thank Jared and the mayor and the staff enough for actually putting together an actionable plan that will get us out of this hole that we are currently in. I think that a resolution like this, it helps kind of keep those guidelines intact, where yes, the state says you want to have minimum 1 year in your reserves for your capital operating and no less than 50 or 60%. So I think that that's a good thing. But after hearing the conversation, I do agree, that it is a little bit of an overreaching situation when you start demanding that the mayor or the town administrator does things and then saying that the council is going to oversee the way in which the day-to-day things are handled as well. We are here to set legislative actions, and whether that be in resolutions or in ordinances, I think that the nut and bolts of this is there. I would request that we do make an amendment to add upon request in, and I understand the pushback on that, but I do think that this is a good thing. But I think that those two words that the mayor said does remove the overreach, which I think there is. And I did have a discussion before I became council president with actually one of the council members here that said, we are the legislative body, they are the executive body, and we have to make sure that regardless of what the mayor wants or the executive side wants, if we feel firmly on something, we need to stick with it on the legislative side. But that goes both ways. If there is an executive side type situation, we cannot overreach onto that side either. So I do think that adding upon request is reasonable. We are sitting here with a water and sewer rate plan, which does actually have a CIP in it as well, and this was given before even asking for it. So I think that it's reasonable to do so now. I think that if there was ever a time in which a mayor or the executive side did not supply that type of thing, then again, this can be reevaluated. But my hope is that we can agree to amend at the table and add upon request in to get this forward and kind of go in the right direction, because I do agree with the basis and everything else that's in it. So we have a motion to amend to add upon request into the document.
I'll make a motion.
No, I just did. Tom,
Well, so you have a.
Hold on.
So you have a pending motion to approve it as written. There's been a proposed amendment that as things currently stand, the original movant must accept. If it is not accepted, and I can't remember, is the motion to approve seconded? I think it is.
Yeah, it was seconded by me.
So then that motion, the original motion, as originally written, would go to a vote, and then from there, whatever happens, happens.
Let me get, in my mind, functioning.
Basically, Councilmember Demoter did the original motion, so he has to accept the amendment, and then we go forward from there, or deny.
And then there must be a second of his acceptance.
Yep.
Okay.
So I know you don't want to hear a lot more of rationale, so I'm very passionate about this, and I do not accept the amendment.
Okay. I respect that. All right, any further discussion on how it is as written?
Can I point one fact out? I looked up the Water and Sewer Commission ordinance. Within it, it says the commission shall undertake such other studies, programs, and recommendations as may be requested from time to time by the town council. So the mechanism's already there to request, I guess, just to wrap this up, hopefully, I think, I guess this isn't going to solve it, but I guess we're at an impasse where the executive is politely asking for the request mechanism rather than the shall mechanism. So, but the request is it's already out there in the ordinance. So.
All right, no further discussion on that.
You know, I'm just trying to figure, so so now we have to vote on the resolution
As originally written.
as written, but it can still be changed after this original vote if someone makes something.
Yeah, any council member can.
Okay, all right, no, that's what I was trying to figure out, Council President, thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, so we have a motion to approve Resolution 2026-3, establishing and maintaining a water and sewer reserve balance of $4.2 million. This was for adoption. We did have a motion, we had a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye for Resolution 2026-3.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have ordinance 2026-3, water and sewer rate increase. This is for adoption. Have a motion?
Okay, I'll take the step to just get the discussion going. Make the motion for adoption of ordinance, sorry, I lost my track here. What was the ordinance number again?
2026-3.
2026-3.
All right, do we have a second?
As amended, and should I go over the amendment?
No, we're talking to the ordinance now, not the resolution.
No, but as amended.
Ordinance, there's some minor
There was some
clerical.
Okay, so as amended.
Yeah, and should I review those?
Yeah, we'll get a second real quick, and then we'll go into that. That's fine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Now, Mr. McCarron, please go ahead.
The only amendments are clerical, so the first one would be on page 3 of 8. Toward the top, there is a table that, as originally introduced, said revenue forecast summary fiscal year 26 to FY 31. Just the heading has changed. It should say fiscal year 27 to fiscal year 31. The remainder of the table, however, is accurate and has not changed. The only other change from, there are two others. The second change is, again, just clerical. On page 5 of 8, under section 109-22.1 entitled System Benefit Charge, subsection A2, there was just as originally introduced, a $23,000 was stricken out and then repeated. I just took out the 23,000, just was a stray strikeout that should have come out. The changes, only other change would be to that same section, starting on that same page. It starts with B1 through 4. So B1 should say 19% for water usage up to the start of the June 2028 water and sewer billing cycle. Subsection 2 should say 13% for water usage up to the start of the June 2029 water and sewer billing cycle. And on to page 6, subsection 3, or subsection 3, should read 5% for water usage up to the start of the June 2030 water and sewer billing cycle. And then subsection 4 should say 3% for water usage beginning with the start of the June 2031 water and sewer billing cycle and each year thereafter, and then there would not be a subsection 5. So, in other words, the change just maps what the ordinance already said about the water rates, and then behind it, the sewer rates.
All right, so we have a motion to approve or adopt as amended, so all of those amendments are in the original motion. We did have a second, so we're on to discussion. Anyone wish to speak?
Was there another one, Holly, that I missed?
This is the same kind of situation, though, like, to accept the amendments. Does Carl have to accept the amendments, or are they already?
No, so his original amendment, his original motion was to approve with these amendments.
Got it. Thank
There's
you.
been a second,
Yeah, it was
so
motion to
that's what's on the
approve
table.
as amended.
And Sean, did you second that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they caught me before I did those.
Thank you.
All right. Real quick, can we take about a 3-minute break? Just a 3-minute recess, if anyone needs to get up, stretch. I have to go to the bathroom. All right, thank you.
Council President privilege, right?
We'll be back in 3 minutes. Thanks.
But it's cumulative over the year before, okay.
That's scary.
All right, CMC, we're about to get started again. You ready to go? Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hey, Carl.
Sorry.
Stay in your lane. All right, thank you, everyone, for the understanding for the brief recess. We do have a motion to approve. We have a second for ordinance 2026-3 for the water and sewer rate increase. So I will go ahead and,
You got 1 second?
yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Mr. Gant just pointed out for your consideration The intention here, so let me go to page 4 of 8, 109-22B. You'll see that it's going to read, "The flat service fee set forth in subsection A1 above and the rates in A2 through 9 above shall increase annually, beginning blah, 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 blah." The intention here is that A1, which is the flat service fee, will also increase each year as well, as I understand the intention here. So I think Mr. Gant is suggesting that in A1 through 4, where it says 19% for water usage, that we add to each of 1 through 4 and connection. Or where did you want that, Ralph?
Simply 19% for water connections and usage. 19% for water connections and usage, 13% for water connections. So the phrase is just water connections and usage. My only concern as written is it only looks at the consumption and not the connection fee. It's a small clarification, perhaps.
And does that repeat itself in the sewer side as well, or no? I don't think so. Okay, so just for your consideration, assuming the movement can accept this.
Okay, thank you.
B1 through 4 at the top of page 5 would add the words after, would actually be reread to say 19% for water connection and usage up to the start of. And that'd be true as we progress down 1 through 4. That'd be the only place where the words connection and would be added to this ordinance, assuming that is accepted by the movant and seconded. Then I think we've gotten all the changes that are necessary here now.
Okay.
Sewer flat rate would increase as
Well,
well. The sewer usage fee would increase as well.
Can you use your mic, please?
So I think the same change would have to be on the sewer part too, because the sewer fee, or the flat rate fee is also intended to increase with those percentages as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
right. So in addition then, on page 7 of 8, where you see B1 through 4, the very same added words would be there. So 19% for sewer connection and usage up to the start of, and that would be added to each of B1 through 4 on page 7 of 8 as well.
So are these table amendments, and then someone would have to make the motion?
For the movement, so would you
Okay.
accept those amendments?
Who is, okay, no, I will accept the amendments that I just suggested about Tom McCarron on page 7 of 8 in B, 1 through 4, adding the words connection and in each line, 1 through 4. And on page 5, adding the same verbiage, connection and usage. On page 5 of 8, 1 through 4, at the top of the page.
All right, do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
Okay. All right, so now we are looking at an amended copy. It has been seconded, so that is the new motion on the table with those adjustments. Any discussion?
Yes, Council President, I have a few comments. So first, let me say, and I'm going to reference back to a memo from the Water and Sewer Commission on December 16th, 2025, that did go to the mayor. And it says in here, regarding the ordinance, the commission agrees with the overall recommendations contained in the presentation. The commission suggests that the final proposal also include the following areas. And indeed, it says, a resolution committing to the town to set a target to maintain the minimum reserve amounts, while setting a floor that reserves should not go below 50% of the target. So my point is, I am unable to approve the rate increase because, to me, the first step of the process is setting the policy, setting the reserve amounts and the targets. And along with that, there were some management curbstones that would ensure we would manage to those reserves. The Water and Sewer Commission unanimously approved all of the language in the previous resolution, which did not get passed. The second thing is, and I want to commend the staff. I know they worked hard on this. It includes a lot of things that I asked for, and I acknowledge that. You went in and you adjusted the tier structure. You adjusted the rate structure. We have higher water users paying more money because they're putting a bigger burden on the water and sewer system. But the thing that was hanging me up, that you know, we all make our decisions based on what we think is best for our constituents. The last part of this ordinance that says in the 6th year or whatever, a 3% annual increase into perpetuity. And I'm very troubled by that without any management guardrails. I'm going to refer to that part of the ordinance as the Buzz Lightyear provision, because if you remember Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story, he'd say, to infinity and beyond. And that's what you're doing. You're putting a 3% increase on our citizens forever without any curbstones that you really need to do that or not. So again, to me, what should be happening is every year we should be looking at, if this passes, which I'm sure it will, we should have a management process in place that's looking at the revenues coming in, looking at the capital improvement and operating plan. Are we managing to that? What adjustments need to be made? At the end of the 5th year, at the end of the 6th year, you're going to be looking at inflation numbers. You may need to raise rates or reduce rates. You may want to give some customer relief to our citizens if we end up having more of a budget than we thought we would. The town has proposed a 5-year plan. It is a plan. It doesn't mean it's going to execute exactly to the plan, so there needs to be management curbstones there for our citizens. I think that's what the citizens are going to be looking for. We're telling our citizens we're raising their rates like, what, 19 to 20%, down to 13, down to 14, and after 5 years, I'm hitting you for 3% annually every year, adjusted. It's just troubling to me, and I see both sides of the argument, because if you look nationally, many municipalities are going towards wiring in an inflation factor. But many states and municipalities don't. I mean, if you look at California and some other states, they put a limit on the time frame that you can raise rates. And a lot of them put a time limit of 5 years. They only allow the town to raise rates for 5 successive years, and that's it. Because I think they see the issue, which is an automatic increase of 3% assumes costs will rise by 3% every year, which may not match reality. It eliminates the need for regular, rigorous cost of service studies, potentially leading to inefficient management or excessive unnecessary increase. If I'm thinking as a council member like I would as an average constituent, I'd be a little upset that you're raising my rates, and I'd want to see that you have a management process in place that shows that you can actually manage this rate increase for the next 5 years. So I think I've said enough. I can't get there because I understand your position, I have my position, and just a comment to the mayor. The mayor, you said something like, well, we've been giving you plans all along. Well, no, you haven't. For 8 months to a year, the Water and Sewer Commission was asking for a detailed water and sewer capital improvement plan, and we got a one-page spreadsheet. We got nothing. And it was only when the town engineer finally came in and gave a briefing that showed just how bad the situation we were in, that we didn't raise the rates 8%, we're raising them 19, 20, 13, 14% for 5 years. So I'm sorry, I just have a different point of view on that point. So I think that's all I need to say. I appreciate all the work that's been done, but I can't get there with that last 3% into perpetuity without some management guardrails there. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mayor?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think you just invoked California as a role model we should follow. But outside of that, listen, we saw this problem last year when we came up with, a $257,000 deficit. Following that, I asked any council member to bring together an ordinance that would raise the water rates, and nobody would jump on that hand grenade. I get that. So I finally had to turn the chairman of the Water and Sewer Commission loose with the town attorney to draft an ordinance that actually was brought before the council. And when it was brought before the council had a lot of questions. That's great. So we started answering the questions. And we put together a heck of a presentation, presented it to the council. We did realize what the problems were. We realized at that point just how serious of a look that we had to take at the water rates. And we did that. And we brought it before the Water and Sewer Commission. And we have done everything we can do to try to fix this within a year. And that was driven by the executive, knowing that the council was going to ask a lot of questions, and we answered those questions. So here we are with the ordinance in front of us that fixes our water rate situation long-term. We're not kicking the can down the road anymore. The 3% annual increases at the end of year 6 is something that's been discussed since November as an average inflationary adjustment that we should strive toward, and I think we got a good ordinance here. I hate that I have to raise a water bill, especially on my own kid who lives in town, let alone all the citizens in town. But the bottom line is you can't run a business in town. We sell water as a commodity. That water and sewer budget sits separately from our general budget. And you can't cross the streams. We're selling water, and we have to be able to at least break even on it. And that's what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to break even and make smart financial decisions. Having said that, there's different management styles that are out there. I'm a Naval Academy grad with a degree in economics. I try not to micromanage people, and I try to make sure that we get the answers that we need to have in order to keep this ship afloat, the great ship Mount Airy. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's a different style, I agree, than maybe any of you would have if you were the mayor. It's certainly a different style from what former Mayor Rockenberg had. But this is the way I do business, and I think it's kept the ship afloat. And when we saw there was a problem, we recognized it, and we're out there addressing it. So at that point, I hope this council passes this rate increase, and then we can go back and look at the resolution later.
Comment? Sure. Thank you. I want to commend the mayor, the staff, the Water and Sewer Commission. We gave you a challenge. It was a big challenge, and I really think you put this together in record time. You probably tell by my past comments, I'm stuck in large organizations. Things are slow, and especially when it comes to a big analysis project. So thank you. I think, like I said earlier, there's some things I would like to tweak. I would have liked to see the 3% more tied to directly to the CPI index, which is the inflation index. Quarterly, but thankfully over time, over recent history, that's fairly stable at 2 to 3%. Of course, the last 5 years, it's been, it's been a roller coaster. But again, aside from that, this is what we asked for, and this is what we have, and like the mayor said, I can't see kicking this can any further down the road. So thank you all.
I'll let you start from the right.
I kind of second Councilmember Kelly's comments. You guys did an outstanding job in putting everything together for us to give us the real numbers and give us what we need to do. Water and Sewer Commission has asked for this. They've approved unanimously what Councilmember Demoter was saying, so I would like to see a resolution coming quickly behind this with those bookends on the amount of money that we need in the reserves and the budget. But yeah, I think we stop kicking the can down the road and figure out how to get it in, because it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, I'll do it now. Yeah, I'll second the comments by Councilman Kelly and Councilmember Evans here. The staff did a wonderful job in basically 2 months, 3 months, somewhere around there, to develop a plan that is feasible and implementable. While I do have some disagreements or concerns with the newer tier structure in there, particularly for the higher end users, because I might be concerned that we may be leaning on the high end users maybe a little bit too much to offset the differences and balances. If something happens to them or they do conserve, we might lose some funding on that because of the concerns. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, and I ask the town administrator, somebody that, I'll be asking from time to time on it, how they're working, if they're reducing, and how it all plays out. But overall, I think this is a good product, and we can't kick the can down the road anymore. So that's all I have to say. It's needed, and the 3% is a good, sorry, 10, I didn't mean to, I thought I was done. The 3%, while not the perfect way, but it is low enough that we can adjust it later, and 3% over time is a good average to keep. It evens out. Thank you, Council President.
Any further discussion? All right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's well documented. It's well known that this is needed. It's funny because when we were talking development for the Beck property, when we're talking annexation for the ball fields and stuff, the main driving factor in a lot of people's minds is, well, I'm concerned about our water. I'm concerned about our water. Well, water costs money, and to treat it, to take care of it, and to provide it, it just costs money. So we're concerned about it too. And in order to keep providing it, we need to be able to afford it. We are not in control of sludge contracts, which have gone up probably 20 to 40% since the last time rates were increased to this amount. It's something that this council does not do lightly, and it's something that we didn't want to do. But we had a big issue dropped in our lap, and we have to take care of it. And I agree, we are not a council that's going to kick it down the road. And if that means we've got to take some hits on Facebook or whatever it is, so be it. But I promise you, the hits on Facebook for this increase are a lot less than the hits on Facebook or public opinion when your water doesn't come when you turn your faucet on or flush your toilet. So, I think before coming after any of my fellow council members, I would advise you think about that option as well. If you flush your toilet, nothing happens, because that's where we're going with $250,000 deficit in the water and sewer capital side if we don't do something. I want to thank the town staff, Jared, Barney, everybody that had a part of this, Katie, the mayor, because nobody likes to raise anything, but when it's needed, it's needed. And this council was very firm that if we're going to do it, let's make sure it's right. And I think for the most part, I think this is about as right as we can get, and then we can analyze over the next couple years. So while it it absolutely stinks, because it's going to affect my pocket too. I want to make sure that when we turn faucets on, what we are expecting actually gets to our house. So other than that, I think we can go ahead and vote. So right now, and I will say one thing. I know the 3% and stuff like that's been heavily talked about here. I am actually in agreement with it from where I sit right now, because I think that if this was enacted 15 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting where we are right now. So if you want me to be bluntly honest, I don't trust a council that comes behind us to not do what's right based on political motivation. If there is a baseline that is there that keeps this town afloat, and we've got to be the ones that set it, then so be it. But history shows us that, a lot of political and social motivations will keep you from doing what is right, for the town. And that's a hard spot to be in. I know that firsthand from sitting here, as well as all of you and past members. So no judgment there, but I think that something that takes the political side out of it is probably a good thing. And if a council in the future thinks that it's too much or they want to change it, that's well within their rights to do so. So it's nothing that is permanent. It is nothing that is in concrete if a future council and mayor want to remove. But I do believe that is right, to remove the social pressures and the political pressures of raising rates. All right, so we have ordinance 2026-3 to amend Part 2 of the Code of the Town of Mount Airy entitled General Legislation, Chapter 109 entitled Water, Article 2 entitled Water and Sewer Rates, Section 109-22 entitled Water Rate Schedule, Metered Service, Section 109-22.1 entitled System Benefit Charge, and Section 109-23 entitled Sewer Rate Schedule. We have a motion to approve. It has been seconded. All in favor of approval of ordinance 2026-3, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
All right, thank you. All right, next up, we have ordinance 2026-4. It's an emergency budget amendment to add $14,000 from the Sustainable Maryland Action Grant. This is for adoption. This is Katie. Katie, just a brief overview, if you don't mind.
So Ashley and Drew applied for this grant through Sustainable Maryland to support the town's National Wildlife Federation. And so Drew's plan with it is to build like certified habitats in the parks.
Okay.
To get this certification.
Okay.
But it's pretty much a wash. So they give us 14,000 and we spend 14,000.
Okay, so nothing from any type of budget or taxpayer dollars, it's just strictly grant money? Okay, all right.
This same, just for reference, this is the second year that we've got this. This grant actually paid for the greenhouse that's at the community garden now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so
fantastic.
that was last year's grant, and they paid for our greenhouse. So this year, they're doing these habitat.
Good job to Ashley and Drew. Okay. All right, so we have ordinance 2026-4, emergency budget amendment to add $14,000 from the Sustainable Action Grant. I'll make a motion to adopt. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
I'll just have a quick question or a comment on this. So basically, as the council president confirmed, this is just pass-through money from a grant. We just need to amend the budget to be able to spend the grant money, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And it's kind of like this is the perfect season to do it.
Yeah, it's spring, yes. And the bunnies are coming out. So, yeah, cool. That's it.
All right, any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we have a motion for ordinance 2026-4, emergency budget amendment to add $14,000 from the Sustainable Maryland Action Grant for adoption. All in favor of adopting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. And again, good job to Ashley and Drew. Next up, ordinance 2026-5, budget amendment to transfer funding and expenses associated with the police station project to a new capital project fund. This is for introduction. I'll make a motion to introduce. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we'll see that again next month. And then we have resolution 2026-4 for the purpose of establishing the town's available water and sewer capacity yield from 2026 through 2027. This is amended from Resolution 2026-2. This is for adoption. Do we have a motion?
Motion for adoption, Town Council Resolution 2026-4 as amended.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Discussion?
Yes, I have some comments and some questions. First, a question for town staff. Does the town have a water supply capacity management plan? And if we do, what's the date of that plan, and was it approved by the Maryland Department of Environment? Does anybody know?
I know that we do have the yearly capacity management plans, but I don't have the information about MDE approval.
Okay. Okay. All right, I have a couple, and Council President, you could just give me like a 1-minute warning, because that'll help me gauge my comments. Okay, so, still have concerns with this resolution. Chapter 109, Water, Article 1, Water Service. I brought this up last month. It says the method of calculating the available water capacity yield, sewer capacity yield, shall be established from time to time by resolution of the town council. Listen carefully. Upon recommendation of the town engineer and the town's water and sewer commission. And then it says this method shall be posted on the town's webpage. So I still haven't seen a method posted on the town's webpage. And let me go through a couple of concerns. If you look at whereas, let's see here. Whereas number 3, this resolution says, the third line says, you use the maximum average daily demand was in 2025 in the amount of 732,673 gallons per day. Okay, that's the number from the town engineer. The Water and Sewer Commission, they use a different number. Okay, they used a value of 742,277 gallons per day. So I don't know which number is right. I don't know which one is wrong. They both may be acceptable, but I have a problem because I have a town engineer saying one number. I have a Water and Sewer Commission using another number. The town code says it shall be recommended by the town engineer and the Water and Sewer Commission. So I'm not trying to be silly here, but shouldn't the town have one methodology with one set of parameters that's transparent and reproducible? I can't walk through this resolution and get the numbers, okay? So I need to know the basis. I think the difference is the town engineer is using a point of entry number for the flow. The Water and Sewer Commission uses the number at the wellhead. And maybe they're both acceptable, but clearly you end up in different numbers, because if you use this other number, you end up with available water capacity of only about 9,000 gallons per day, which is 1/2 of the 19,272. So that to me is a problem. The next thing is looking at the calendar year 2025, we used 80% of our allowed water capacity, of our total permitted amount of 927,000 or whatever. We used 80%. That's a lot. MDE requires that if you're at 80% capacity, you are required to prepare a water capacity management plan. It's a requirement of MDE. So if we don't have that, we're required to do that. And once you read 80%, if you look at the standard guidance out there, when you're at 80% capacity, you shouldn't be allocating any new water. You should pivot to conservation and finding new water sources. So I have a lot of issues with the methodology. It's not transparent. There are differences in approaches. And I have even more to say here, but I think I'm at my limit, it sounds like.
I didn't know I was going to do that.
Can I make one last point?
Yeah, that's fine.
This is previewing what's to come, but the next step in this process is we're going to then take this small amount of water and allocate it for new uses. And I contend that this new number represents only 8% of your remaining water capacity. So I don't believe we should be allocating any new water for any uses. And given the fact that our entire water source is contaminated with PFAS, and we're not going to have that resolved for at least 2 years, we shouldn't be allocating any new water because we'd be knowingly contaminating our own citizens with additional sources of water. And I can expand more on that when we get to that point. Thank you.
Yes, Council President. I just want to point out to that if the town engineer is using point of entry into the water system, that is the preferred number according to my, listening to Water and Sewer Commission meetings and him and everything else, because point of entry is what's coming in for treatment. It takes into account losses that the system has through leakage and everything else. So if the Water and Sewer Commission is using the stuff that's coming out of the well numbers, that is probably would inflate the potential numbers more than actually give us a better number. Also, to your 19,000 gallon GP day, I want to read something on page 2 of 2, number 3, under the pursuant to town code, that in the first quarter of 2026, the town anticipates receiving an increase in appropriation from 79,000 to 113,000 gallons per day from MDE, or Maryland Department of Environment, for permit FR2001G022, as Ralph Gant says, Bowlegs 03, or well number 9. Once received, this extra 34,000 gallons will add 29,000, almost approximately 30,000 gallons per day, or 88% to the available water capacity yield, bringing the total from 19,000 to 49,000 gallons per day. And I believe this permit or request has been in the works for several years to anticipate, to account for more outflow and to offset the PFAS. And also, I won't get into PFAS discussion because we could go on forever and ever and ever on that one. Let's just say our views are different on that one. While we do have a problem, it's not as bad as you're making it out to believe.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We have our
Thank you.
Julianne, did the Water and Sewer Commission work with the staff on this, or vice versa, at all? I guess it's in the ordinance for the commission, right? It's part of their mission? Do we know that? I didn't mean to put you
I
on the
don't
spot.
know.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I don't know.
If you don't know, you don't
But
know.
I know
that.
I know he's watching.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
So,
No, but Dick Swanson comes into town hall and meets with Barney. I can't tell you
Okay.
what he discusses at every meeting, but they go over these issues.
I'm just gonna make the observation, we just gave the commission and the staff kudos for this colossal project that they worked on together. And now there seems to be a disconnect on the very next thing. I love commissions and staff working together, so.
I have no doubt that if Barney were here, he would tell you specifically when he met with either Dick Swanson, the chair, or the entire commission, so.
May I offer another comment at some point?
Quickly.
So, Mr. Mayor, I think Mr. Swanson did share these questions to the town engineer, and I don't think it ever got resolved. And to Councilmember Munder's point, yes, I mean, I get it. We're talking about getting additional allocation from MDE. We've been planning on that from probably 2023, early 2024. And this resolution says, we think we're going to get this by the end of the first quarter. That's the end of March. Do we really think we're going to get that allocation by the end of the March? And if we're not, I'm just a very conservative, first do no harm kind of an approach. I wouldn't be putting that in the resolution because you still don't have that water. And at a minimum, you should get back to MDE and ask, are we getting that by the end of the quarter? Because that's what your resolution says. I'll put odds that maybe you're not, but I certainly don't know. It shouldn't be written the way it's written. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we have a motion for Resolution 2026-4 for the purpose of establishing the town's available water and sewer capacity yield from 2026 through 2027. It's amended from Resolution 2026-2. It has been put up for adoption, seconded. So all in favor of Resolution 2026-4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Steve and Sean.
Okay.
All right, we don't have any unfinished business, so now we will move on to closed meetings at the,
I don't need one. Do you need one? So we don't need one.
no closed meetings. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
That is seconded.
Second.
But I just want to say, unfortunately, Council Secretary Everett's meeting was a tad quicker than this. Sorry.
All right.
So next time he's out, he's going to put.
We do have a motion to adjourn. All in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. See you next month.